This may come as a shock to some of you, but in time, I think you'll understand. This is the final day for our kind. It's time for us to evolve into the species that we were meant to become.
I've seen a path. Maybe that's enough to give us hope.
I always say it's somewhat controlled chaos on this show. And this season, running around and being crazy, it's been a dream.
The only thing better than one Aaron Paul is several. And in a sense, he's still human, but it's gotten more complicated.
He wakes up in a cell and is yet another version of himself, but he forgets that he knows that. But then it's revealed by seeing himself in other cells, and he's just desperate to get out.
That was also a set where we had a lot of glass walls, we had flames, we had drone hosts, we had walls that had to be white and walls that had to be transparent. So figuring out the order of shooting and how we were going to do all that was pretty exciting.
This is the Caleb holding cell. The very, very hard set to scan. It's nothing but reflective surface, but it's a phenomenally well-designed set. And we got pieces of it in here where we have some green screen work that we have to do with double Calebs this season. Double, triple, quadruple.
I still think that despite the fact that he's had the Delos treatment and is now a replica of his former self, that there's so much humanity in him. Even though it's illogical, he doesn't stop fighting because he's fighting for something bigger than himself. He's fighting for his daughter.
The stunt department on this show is just the top of their game. So I do everything up to a point, and then when, I could hurt myself, I just leave it up to the professionals and I go eat a sandwich somewhere.
Aaron is game. Throughout this whole process, he's quick to tell you if there's something that he doesn't feel comfortable doing, but more often than not, he's happy to try everything. One of the big questions for us was how to make the transition from the duct to the actual fall. We had multiple falls because at that point, there's multiple Calebs. So we had him coming out of the duct on the wire with a stunt guy, which was one decaying Caleb. And then we had two stunt guys at one point, and then we had a stunt guy and a dummy. And in the end, I think it worked out fine.
At this point, the Temperance Park has been closed for 30-something years and has been essentially condemned, and all the land around it has been condemned. So we've seen abundance of weeds and sand just sort of take over the Temperance Park, dry out the lake beds, and basically have a sense of naturalism growing through something that was unnatural. Our Temperance Street was down here through the middle throat. We called it Cicero Ave, kind of based off of Capone's hometown. In the background, you see the original high-rises of the 1920s of Michigan Ave and Lake Michigan. However, in this timeline, it is now a dried lake bed. As a personal motive and a possible Easter egg, in this painting, we also included potential future park expansions, which was a quick throwback to the original feature film. And we had Roman World as seen here by the ruins of the Colosseum. Fingers crossed that somehow this makes its way in.
Aurora is just a total badass and just absolutely magnetic and compelling to watch. We needed an actor who could be strong, but also exhibit this kind of haunted vulnerability.
I'm not a very aggressive person. I'm not a very tough in-your-face person, and I think C kind of is. So it was a challenge to meld myself into this person where it's okay, how can I justify that I am this very tough, very strong, straightforward person, while still being myself, which is why I think a lot of the time it was choosing this avenue of like, I'm doing these things, I don't want to be doing these things, but I have to do these things. And so then that was a justification, and I could still be vulnerable.
Cookie. Frankie, hey. It's your dad. I know you're out there. And if you're hearing this, I want you to know that you're going to win.